and I've developed this through trial and error. So here you can see we have this pin inserted, the spare pin inserted on top of the seat and between the tang on the float, and I will just bend that down, and it's a trial and error situation until I get 1.35 or 1.4 inches for my adjustment. Now the way I'm adjusting this is I'm using a screwdriver and putting pressure right here. As you can see, I'm using leverage to my advantage to bend this area of the float. Now if you put any pressure or bend this tab along in this area, you'll crack something or break something. Then you'll be buying a new float, which is around $20 from aftermarket, which is not the end of the world, but we would like to avoid that. So I have already put the pressure on and bent it some. Now I'm going to retest and remeasure. Okay, I've readjusted the float and reassembled. I've got the needle back in the seat. I've got the float pin back in, and I'm going to measure across the carburetor, and it looks very good. I did some more work on this. I didn't just do it this quickly in between video breaks. So I've got it as close as I could. It's a possibility that I could get that a little closer, but it's in all probability I couldn't do any better, and I could actually do a lot more damage to the carburetor. Now I have the new needle and seat in the carburetor. I've cleaned everything up. I'm going to reassemble everything. These carburetors are some of the easiest carburetors there are to disassemble and reassemble. I'll go with a new gasket. Everything's clean. I've blown everything out before this, actually, with some of my past attempts. These jets are all clean inside. This is the main jet here. It's a fixed jet. It has to be very clean. Of course, take this out. But my problem is flooding. So the flooding problem almost certainly has to be coming from either the gasket or the needle seat float area. So I will reassemble that and come back. I have reassembled the Cub carburetor. I want to make a couple of notes here. These threads in here are in very poor condition. Somebody with gorilla hands has tightened the mounting bolts down until they took out the top threads. I only have about 2 or 3 rounds left in here. Now this was done in the past before I got the tractor, but it's subject to happen. This is very soft metal that these carburetors are made out of. Now it's possible on the front side of this carburetor to actually use a longer bolt to mount it with and put a nut on the bottom, possibly grinding one side of the nut off, or even to put a stud up through the bottom, a bolt with the head partially ground off, so that I put a nut on top. Now on the back side, thank goodness I have really good threads on the back side here, and I'm going to take good care of those and not destroy those. Another thing is that when you tighten down these 4 screws that hold the 2 carburetor bodies together with this soft cork gasket, don't tighten these really tight, but tighten them all uniformly, because you don't want to destroy the gaskets taking them off again. You can, if this carburetor is working properly and not flooding, you can come back and tighten those more later. But for this time, we're not going to over tighten them, and we're not going to crush this gasket, because we're subject to be back into this carburetor right away. We'll mount the carburetor and do a test run, and hopefully I'll be able to include on this video a very smooth running 1964 Cub International tractor. Thank you for watching the video.